Welcome to the Magnetic Leadership Podcast by educator Dave Johnson.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dave Johnson's Saturday morning call. Dave is on a plane heading to our Avini tour on Saturday. So I guess he's spending the week in Florida. I don't blame him. And so he asked me to step in. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit, do a little stream of consciousness talking here. One of the things that I get a lot of questions about and asked about, not only from my company, but when I talk to people outside the company, like Rick and I this week were at a raw materials show in Mandalay Bay. It was like 4,000 booths. It was huge. But anyway, people are asking why network marketing, and it's a good question because people think of network marketing as a different business, quote unquote, different business. It's not. It's the same as any other business. The difference is the way we do our marketing. See, I truly believe that this is the best way to do marketing in the business because word of mouth makes sure that you get the products that you really want. What they say on TV, as we all know, isn't necessarily true all the time, or maybe any of the time. But so I really believe it. And how did I get into it? Well, you heard me talking a few minutes ago before we started. I was running corporations. I ran many drug chains, big corporations. And the problem with that is that people did not get paid what they were worth. All right. People who work in the stores work just as hard as the people who work in the quote unquote offices, the corporate executives. They're just doing different things. And what I found was, like, for example, when I was running a drugstore, I may have 20 employees, but 4 of the employees were doing most of the work. But all 20 people got paid the same thing. The beauty of this is that if you're a go-getter and you're a hustler, you get the money that you deserve, okay? Because you're getting paid on what you do, not what somebody else does or around you is doing. So instead of 4 people getting paid the same as the 20, the 4 people are now getting paid what the 20 people were paid. So that's why it works. Now, how do we get the money to do that? Listen, I just looked at our numbers. You guys did an amazing job in October. We broke our record again for like 3 out of the last 4 months. We've gone forward and we're going to pay out on this month over $500,000 to you guys. Now, how could we afford to do that? Well, if you look at the cost of products that you buy in the stores, the average cost is only about 10% of making product. It's a 6 to 10%. That's the smallest part of it. Most of the cost of making the product of selling is in the marketing and distribution. Well, guess what you guys do? Marketing and distribution. 50% of the product, the cost on the stuff on the shelves is product based upon marketing and distribution. So it's incredible to me that we have an opportunity to what I like to call give the gift of a better life to a lot of people by allowing them to do the marketing, to do leveraging. You know what leveraging is, right? Leveraging is when you get paid for somebody else working. Doesn't mean you're not working, because if you're doing it right, and I'll explain that in a minute, you're still working, but you're leveraging these people. 3% of the population have leveraged income. 3% of the population have 97% of the wealth. Do you think there's any correlation there? I probably believe there is. Okay. So how do you get into a leverage situation? Well, you can truthfully, about 15 years ago, no, it's about 19 years ago now. I started a business with some friends in the electric vehicle business. We were building ATVs and UTVs using lithium batteries back in 2005 before anybody knew. Talk about being ahead of your time. But in order to do that, I literally had to raise millions and millions and millions of dollars because we ended up with a 125,000 square foot factory. We had, I think, 90 welders working for us, $100,000 payroll every other week, $200,000 rental. All the money that you have to spend. How many people can go out and afford to do that? I had been working for 30 years, so I knew enough people to go get the money. Most people don't, okay? You can go buy a franchise. That's still pretty expensive when you're taking a big chance, okay? Or you can do this business. This is the cheapest business you'll ever get involved in, okay? Because you think about it, the way we run our programs, the first thing we do is get you your money back if you're interested in being a business person. And I get not everybody is a business person. Some people want to just buy the products, and listen, it's about people using the product. So however you want to get involved, you get involved. But for those of you who want to change your lives in a lot of different ways, not only your health, but in your wealth, you got to realize that you're changing it by getting involved with us. If you come into our business and you learn how to use the leverage, and the leverage is not about taking advantage of people, it's about helping people. We're running the 50% promotion. I think it ends today. Okay. So hopefully people got involved. But even on a regular basis, if you get involved in the business and you bring in 3 people, right, you're going to be in a situation where you got all your money back. Now you're playing with, as we say in Las Vegas, with the house money. Okay. You don't have anything in it. And when we design the comp plan, we design that comp plan so that you can make money the day you get involved in the business. Not only to return it, if you go through and you get your 3 people, okay, you're now building a concrete base that we can get to silver executive. All right. It's not that hard to get there. So what does that do for you? Well, besides the bonus on an everyday basis and any retail sales, you make $180 a month to be a silver executive. Well, guess what? That pays for your product and some for most people. You want to make a little bit more money, get more involved, you move yourself up to a gold executive. We're not talking diamonds, we're not talking emeralds. Gold executive, you're making almost $500 a month. For most people, not only will pay their product, but it will change their lives. $300 for 90% of the people in this country, $300 a month is life-changing. And in this environment where people are now spending $4,000 to $5,000 a year more to get the same exact thing that they had 4 years ago, it's almost imperative that people get a plan B and start doing some of this stuff, because it will allow them to move forward in their lives. Now, what else do you get? Well, you get good health. We have amazing products, and they'll give you good health. Whether if you're not doing well, if you have problems, it'll help you with the problems. More importantly, it'll help you not get problems. That's the way I look at it. I mean, the most important thing we can do is help people that don't know they need to be helped. But truthfully, when you talk about finances, you're also talking about a stress situation. Do you know the number one cause of disease is stress? It creates stress in your body, creates disease. The number one cause of stress is finances. So why do I talk about business all the time? Because I believe I've seen so many people's lives change with my life change with it. I went from working 120 hours a week, it felt like. I was 50 pounds overweight, I had ulcers, and I had high blood pressure from running companies. All right. And I never saw my kids. To staying at home, being my kids' coaches, driving them to school, losing weight, getting healthy, being what I am today because I did that. If I hadn't done that back in the 90s, I probably wouldn't be here today. I was heading in the wrong direction from a health standpoint. But the ability to raise 6 kids, we had yours, mine, and ours. A lot of you know that story. I'm not going to go into it today, but the ability to raise 6 kids on an income from a network marketing company enabled me to be a dad. Get rid of my stress and be a dad. I mean, it was the most amazing thing to me in the world. And I don't understand. Truthfully, I look at people, I don't understand why everybody doesn't do it. It's such a much better way to do it. One of the positives of the COVID era is that people realize that working from home is pretty cool. Okay. So you really go through and change your, I mean, those of you who are doing it know what I'm talking about. But when you're getting up in the morning and trying to figure out, I was just talking to somebody in one of the groups I'm in, not in the Avini area, and he had to leave the group because his wife was working a new job and he couldn't get the kids to school. So he had to leave what he was doing in the morning instead of, meeting with the people that we were meeting with on a weekly basis. All these things change. And that's why I call it a gift of a better life. You're living the life that you love, not the life that you have to have, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so this sounds really simple. Come in and get 3 people. Well, it's not that simple. Okay. If it was simple, it'd be over. Okay. If it was easy, it would be over. In order to be successful in this business, you need to have a lot of belief. And you hear me talk about that a lot. Number one, you have to have belief in the company, and hopefully you realize that almost 2.5 years later, we are a We are not a new company anymore, guys. We're not a neophyte. We're a multi-million-dollar business. We're cash flowing on a monthly basis. Actually, we've cash flows from day one. Okay. We have products. We have ability. Those of you coming this Friday, you're going to be amazed at what you see if you haven't seen it yet. I'm very proud what Rick and I and Doug have built there. It's been a major effort, I could tell you that, because we've all learned things that we didn't know we could learn. So who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? You could definitely teach them new tricks, but it's so cool to be going through there and making it better and better. Almost every month now we bring in new equipment to make it better. But like, how do you guys do it? Well, what you need to build your belief is training. The business is there. Okay. The products are there. These products, they're not being tested anymore. They're real. They're unbelievable. I mean, when Rick and I are working on new products, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be amazed by the kind of things and the science that's coming out. We discovered a lot of great things this past week. But one of the things that we pay our distributors for is training. Okay. And we try to give you all the tools that you need to do training. So what happens if I'm going to tell you a story, and I told it at one of the tours. I'll probably tell it again this week. So those of you, don't hold your ears when I tell it again. But about 2.5 months ago, I decided to call 20 brand new distributors over a 2-3 week period. I just kept calling until I got them on the phone, and I would talk to them and welcome in the company. And then I started asking questions. Who's your upline? What's an upline? How do you like the app? I don't know about an app. Has anybody called you to talk to you about how to use the products? No. So you got to realize you got to take responsibility. If you want to leverage yourself, you have to take responsibility for helping people get started. If you take a look at that, the Avini Advantage Accelerator Kit, we call it the AAA pack. If you look at that, there's a page in there that if you call up the person to just walk them through that page, they know exactly what they need to get started. So it's most important for you to realize that when you get somebody to purchase an activation pack, if they're coming in, even if it's just to use the products, or if it's to buy products wholesale, or to tell a few people about products, or to start a business, you really need to call those people to talk to them, because your job really starts when they buy it, not getting them to buy it. You're not getting the leverage if you just bring people in and just go get the next person and don't do anything. You're not being fair to them, and you're not being fair to yourself, and you're not being fair to the company, which is, look, we're product based, but we're a business. Without making money on a monthly basis, I can't ship you product next month. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of stream of consciousness, so I'm going all over the place here. So sorry about that for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, but I'm just trying to get you to understand how we all work together. And Rick formulates the product. We put together the marketing plans and the sales plans and all the marketing stuff that we can give you. But you guys do all the marketing. You guys do all the distribution. Yes, we ship it for you. This is a great thing. Listen, when I first started in the business, I had, the old pantry full of stuff. You know what I mean? I had to empty out my food and just keep all the stuff so I could sell stuff. But today, you don't even have a lot of product on hand. You just, send them to your website and they get shipped and you get paid, which is not too shabby. Okay. But the comp plan is built for two different things. Okay. And the comp plan, I'm talking to the people that are interested in the business. Okay. The comp plan is built so that you can bring people into the business and be confident that they can get their money back. They can get the products they need. People need to be on these products. Get people to do that by helping them. Okay. They can't do it without your help. I always talk, and the other thing of these calls, my call is a little bit different, but Dave does great shows. Every morning there's a rev call. There's videos on avinihealthtraining.com. There's all kinds of papers. The research available, if you're into the research, is great. I consider the research to be bedtime reading so I can go to sleep. I've read it all, obviously. We all have, because we believe in the products. But when I look at what's going on in our business today, is that we are at a point of two forks. We can either continue to bring people in and let them flounder. Okay, I'm not gonna use a different word. Let them sit there and do nothing, or you can take them and help them live a better life. You can help them by just talking to them once in a while. When I enroll somebody, I felt beholden to help them because I convinced somehow told these people I poured my belief all over them to the point where they came in and said, okay, I'm going to join you in this thing. A friend of mine always says, he says, when I talk to people, he says, they're probably not going to remember what they said, but they're going to remember how they felt when they leave me. Okay. And when they feel that way and they join me, then it's my responsibility to fulfill what I promised in that conversation. And that conversation is about helping people. And helping people is not just giving them the products that are going to make them healthy. It's helping them in their life. I have found that the growth potential, personal growth potential, being in this business, listening to the calls, listening to Doug or to Paul Stowers or Dave Johnson or Marcy Littlejohn or Chip talk about products. This is all about growing a person as a personal basis, that you become a different person. You become a person that realizes that helping people is a way to make money. Okay. And it's not, and you don't have to be ashamed about it because you only get money when you help them. You don't get any money if you don't help them. Think about that for a minute. I hate people. Well, I'm not in it for the business. I just heard a story about a guy who was talking to a doctor who was telling me the story. And he went to see the doctor, and the doctor loves the products. And he's saying, I want to get all the products out to everybody. And he goes, that's great. Let me tell you about the business. Well, I'm not interested in the business. So what are you interested in? Well, I'm interested in getting this to as many people as possible. So he says, well, then let me tell you about the business. Then the guy says, no, I don't want to hear about the business. So he turned around to the doctor and he said, well, let me ask you a question. How many people a week can you see? I said, I can see 20 or 30 people a week and help them. He says, well, if you had 20 or 30 people seeing 20 or 30 people a week, how many people would you be able to see? He said, that's really good. How do you do that? Well, let me talk to you about the business. Oh, okay. It's not to shove it down their throats. It's to make them understand that we want to get this out and help people. When you have products that do what our products do for people, you got to talk about it. And you can talk to 20, 30, I don't know how many people you could talk to a week. I probably talk to 20 or 30 a week, and I'm not a distributor because I just love our products and I talk to them and I carry them around, and I have all the packets with me now all the time, handing out to people. But think of how many people you can talk to if everybody you bring in talks to 10 people a week. Unbelievable what we can do. We can change the health in this country. The people are starting to realize that health is a big situation. Sometimes they're going about it not in very healthy ways. Losing weight using drugs doesn't necessarily work. It may work for some people, but it also give you pancreatitis, lose your gallbladder, up to and including death. Who needs all that stuff when you can have healthy stuff like the TrimScience that we have? That if you go through and you just pay a little bit of attention to how you eat, or you allow it to you don't finish your plate. I don't know about you guys, but when I go out and eat, very rarely do I finish my plate anymore because I'm full, because my stomach shrunk. Okay. So let's continue on down the road of talking about how do we talk to our new distributors, get them on the calls, get them on the training calls. I have a CEO call that we're going to make some major announcements next week. Okay. Well, make sure you're on the call. Make sure all your people, how many people call it, if you've enrolled, the average person enrolls 3 to 5 people, okay, in our business. And in the industry, it's 2. But those people who are working are doing much better in this business, okay? So how many of you call up your enrollees and say, hey, are you getting on the call this week? We got some important information coming. It's only a half an hour out of your life. Are you getting on Dave's call on Saturday morning? Last week he had, Dennis on, and then a couple of weeks ago he had Rick on, and I'm on this week. I mean, every week you get to hear a different perspective about the products in the business. All right. It's important because people hear things different ways. They also have to hear something 5 or 6 times before they really believe it. Okay. So that's the importance of getting that. Now, then we have the tours, and then we have the summit coming in March. I hope everybody will be at the summit. We have 600 tickets. I think we've sold about almost a third of them. Okay. So you want to get going on it, but why do you want to see them? Because people are a lot more impressive than being 2.5 inches on a screen when you get to meet them. All right. The most important part I can tell you about going to a summit is building the belief, not only in the summit, but during the periods we're eating and the periods we're taking a break and before and after, getting to spend a few minutes with some of these diamond distributors. If you're a silver or a gold and you want to become a diamond, and talking to them, how did they get there? What did they do? Some of the training. I'm going to be announcing some things on Tuesday night about what we're going to do for some of the training. But, you know, I know that when I was a distributor, I never missed a regional or a national meeting. I went to every single one of them, and I walked away at my business group every time. It was my belief group. Why did my belief grow? Because they're telling me things that I need to hear over and over again. How many things have we forgotten? Those of us who have been in the business for 20 years, how many things have you forgotten? That all of a sudden somebody says it on one of the calls and goes, oh yeah, that's a good way to do it. It only takes one of those to change your business again. So make sure you come to the meetings. Make sure you get on the calls. Make sure you call people. I mean, call your diamonds. I mean, they're there to help you. They have a lot of people. It's a squeaky wheel syndrome. You know what that is, right? The squeaky wheel gets oil. You want help? Ask for it. I guarantee you that they will be there for you if you ask for help. If you don't ask for help, you may get lost in the shuffle. And you don't want to get lost in the shuffle. Be the squeaky wheel. Okay. So continue. My calls don't go a long time. So continue to work the way you're working. Talk to people, but please start talking to the people that you enroll. You have a personal responsibility to help these people be successful. Okay. If you don't want to do that, then you're in the wrong business. I'll be really straight with you because this is about helping people. It's not about making money. Money comes when you help people. Okay. If you're in it to make money, you will be successful for a while. You won't be for a long term. We have built a major concrete base for our business. And now we're ready to explode because it could hold the rocket that we're going to take off on. So continue to do your auto ships. It's auto ship time. Continue to talk to the people. Continue to be a product of the products. Really important. And then please, call if you have a question. You got Heath, you got Steph, you got Rick, you got me, you got Doug, you got your diamonds, you got your emeralds. Everybody's sitting there waiting for you to call and say, help them. Many of you get calls from me. I mean, I just call people, say, hey, how you doing? All right. And there's nothing that enrolls people more in your business than being part of their lives. So do that. So thank you very much for taking a Saturday morning to spend a half an hour with me. I do appreciate everything that you've done. Rick and Doug and I, we can't tell you enough how much we appreciate our distributor force. When we started this business, we told you that you're our number one asset. And to this day, we not only believe it, we know it, because without you guys, we're nowhere. So thanks again. Great things are coming down the road. Get excited. I mean, I get chills up my back just saying this because I know it's coming. So have a great day. Thank you.
Are you willing to answer questions?
I can answer a few questions. Yeah, there's one.
Tony says thank you,
All right. Thank you.
but
You can throw it in the Q&A or the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer it. I think Q&A is what they get on this, right? This is a webinar.
yes,
I usually do regular Zooms because I like seeing people's faces.
not my choice. I just
I
click
know.
at the button.
I know. I know.
Tony says, do we still have our tour spots available in Florida?
We still have some spots available. We have some that are full and some that are pretty empty. So you may get a call and say, instead of going in 3, we'd like you to go to 2 or 4, because we'd rather, fill it up instead of having 2, 3 or 4 people. But a couple of them are filled up. But yes, we'd love to have more of you come. We have about 100 something people who have signed up. We probably could do another 40 or 50 if you guys want to come.
Thane asked what was our closeout company-wide volume for last month.
Over $1 million.
Good gravy. Frank, what is the agenda on the day you have taken the tour?
Well, but basically what's going to happen, agenda after you've taken the tour is have fun. Make phone calls, call your enrollees. The tour is only going to, it's an hour out of your time. So what's going to happen is you're going to get picked up. If you're on the tour, you need to go to the embassy suites because we have certain rules the FDA requires for us to sign people in and stuff to go in and out of our building. We can't just let people walk in. And in order to keep track of that, we're going to have you meet us at the embassy suites in Boca Raton. We'll sign you in at that point and get you signed. We have a shuttle that'll take you down to the factory, which is about a quarter of a mile away. It's not that far. I mean, you can almost walk it. You'll go through a 45-minute tour and Q&A, and then you'll go back. I mean, that's all it really takes. It's 18,500 feet. It's not 125,000 feet. We'll get you through it. That night from 5 to 7, we're going to have a meet and greet with some hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff at the embassy suites for those of you who are there or not there if you just want to come by. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we're going to start bright and early, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. And Rick is going to be up first. So I suggest you be on time. Okay. Because you may be okay missing me, but you don't want to miss him. Okay.
Tony said, woohoo, we did it. I'm pretty sure she was way more ecstatic when she said that than what I just said.
Okay. It came across. See, there's some other. Who is facilitating this call for today? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Nikki. I work with multiple distributors. I technically am a distributor, but I don't work on the business. I work helping different distributors do different things with their company.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Well, listen, have a wonderful day and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining the Magnetic Leadership Podcast with Dave Johnson. Take charge of your health and detoxify today with Avini Premium products.